Hi, my name is Summer, and the purpose of my videos are going to just be showing you outfits. So if you're anything like me, you get on YouTube and you're searching and scrolling and you're looking for outfits because you love the thrift store and you want to see things matched up, and there aren't any. So I have been doing a search, and finally I've decided maybe I need to do them because I can't find, there's a very few people that are doing just fun outfit videos like it used to be. Like, I'm 46 now, so when I was 18 is when I started thrifting. And when I was 18, I would go to the thrift store and I would find all kinds of cool things. I would just love to pick out random things that I like and put them together. And it didn't matter if it was new, it didn't matter if it was vintage, it was just what I liked. And somehow we've gotten away from just picking things you like at the thrift store and just for the fun of it to everything's got to be this trend or that trend, or it either has to be just vintage or it has to be just modern. And there's just like this whole list of rules that started somewhere, and I can't figure out where that came from. And I realized recently, I had a store for a little while, and I realized recently that I was doing that. And then I got to the point where I'm like, do I even like vintage? And then I would get rid of my whole wardrobe, and then I would get all modern, and then I would get rid of that whole wardrobe and go back and get all vintage. And I was like, what is my problem? And then I finally figured out I used to go to the thrift store and pick out things for fun. And there wasn't a rule as to what I was picking out or what trend I was picking out or whether it was vintage or modern. It was just, this is what I like. I'm going to pick it out. And by the way, that was back when you could go to the Goodwill and they had their half off sales and shirts were 99¢. So it was amazing. You could come out with like 100 shirts for $100. So anyways, those times have passed. It's a little different now, but if you're anything like me and you're missing, or if you're, you might not be my age, you may be younger and you're still like, man, those were simple times and that was great, then you'll probably like these videos, because these videos are going to be very simple. And it's simply, I love going to the thrift store. I love finding things and I love matching them up and putting them together. And so today I'm going to be doing Western looks, or you could say, I don't have the cowboy hat. I'm just missing that piece. I haven't found it. I've got the boots, but I've realized a lot of things I pick out in my wardrobe are equestrian or Western or kind of ranch style. It seems to kind of fall, a lot of things fall under those categories, and so I'm just going to put them together the way I would think in my head they would go for one of those. So picture Heartland or something like that. If you know what they're wearing in that show, then you can maybe put two and two together on what I'm doing. So it's not 100% like fringe and cowboy hats and everything, but you get the idea. It's we've got the boots, and also just layering pieces, layering up the jewelry and just adding extra things into it, and just giving you a little bit of an idea of what you can do with what you find at the thrift store. And if you have one of those thrift stores that doesn't have vintage and it only has modern, or if it only has vintage and it doesn't have modern, or you feel like it just has like these old clothes and you're like, what do I do with these? Usually you can figure out a way to pull them together and make them look cool. So hopefully this will be a little bit of inspiration for that as well. And so we'll just get started. This is actually my first outfit, and we're in a small space. We live in a small space, so I have everything laid out on the bed. And this is my corner, so this is what I'm going to be using to show the outfits, and that's okay because my small space is paid off, so that works for us. We don't have to pay a house payment, so this is great. And so anyways, I'm just going to start with this this outfit right here, and this is a Lucky Brand shirt I thrifted. I don't know what the skirt is, but if you'll look, it just kind of has that, it's kind of a Western look. It's very simple. And then I found these boots, and they're not, you don't even have to have name brands. You literally can just pick things that you like and stick them together. It doesn't matter what the brand is. It doesn't matter what the trend is, but you can usually always find pieces that will pull together an outfit that will make it the style you're wanting, regardless of what the brand is or regardless of what you have at your thrift store. And it is so much cheaper to do that. I feel like I have a gold mine in clothes from thrifting, and they were also very cheap. And so this handbag was given to me. This is actually a fry bag, but it looks really cool as far as like kind of Western, equestrian. I kind of feel like the Ralph Lauren equestrian vibe here lately is what I've been noticing, and not because of a brand, just because I just like it. I like the way it looks. But this bag, this belt, which I thrifted, this big wide belt, and if you just pick, you know, just pieces, and they don't even have to really match. You can mix match your jewelry and mix match like a pop of color here and there to tie into something and just come out with something that nobody else has or nobody else is wearing, and it'd be cool. So anyway, this is the first outfit, and we're going to move on to the second one. Okay, outfit number 2, and this is probably going to be a really long video. I haven't got the hang of this yet. This is my first video. I tried YouTube years ago, and it was under a different title, and the title didn't make sense. It made sense to me, didn't make sense to other people, so I guess no one found the videos. Anyways, we're restarting all over again, and I have not got the hang of the camera, y'all. I've got the outfits. I know what to do with the thrift store and the outfits, but the camera, we're using a DJI camera that my husband picked out. It's not what I've seen the majority of the YouTubers I watch using, and so it's very new, and I couldn't get the little clicker microphone thing transmitter to connect, so I'm having to reach in and push the buttons on my phone to stop and start. And so we're just going to do it like that for today, and hopefully the more videos I do and the more practice I get, I will get better and better at it. So bear with me with that. But outfit number 2, and so this reminds me of, like, you know when you're watching a Western, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, there's that piece of the Western, I don't know, my husband was watching something, I don't know if it was John Wayne, but there was this piece where he stops and there's this like little church in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, and it's a little Spanish, it's like a Catholic Spanish church, I guess, and that's what I thought of when I thought of this outfit. Because of the cross and the jewels, it just kind of reminded me of that kind of Spanish Catholic look that was in that video. And the skirt, which is so cool. This skirt was actually gifted to me too. So I have an aunt that every now and then she hands stuff down to me, and so this came from her, and I just thought it was really cute, and it just ties in with this cross and that whole look, and then obviously keeping the boots and stuff. And then the denim jacket, which normally you maybe wouldn't think of Western, but when you pair it with the boots and the jewelry and stuff, it just kind of all ties together. Keeping that same shirt. And yeah, I feel like this one is actually very cool, and not one that most people would maybe be wearing or put together. So I actually probably will wear this soon because it looks good for fall as well. So anyways, but outfit number 2, and we'll go on to number 3. Okay, outfit number 3. This one is a more, I have a mirror over here I'm checking into because I rolled my sleeves up. I'm like, is that okay? This is more of it is a Western, but it's, I feel like, more American Western, like something that you would see like at a rodeo around here. I'm in Tennessee, so something that you would see at a rodeo, or actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Jessie on Toy Story. So anyways, most of the time, like this shirt right here, the Stars and Stripes, I would have said 4th of July. But I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know, in a lot of Westerns, like American Western stuff, you see stars and stripes and like the American flag, and you see those type of prints in them. So I thought, well, that could, you know, after I paired the jacket and the boots and stuff with it, and I don't have the skinny jeans, so my jeans are a little bunched in there, but still, it kind of gives more of just like a all-American Western look, in my opinion. And so just using something that you wouldn't have thought to keep out, and so that's just a good example to me of like how you can use different things in universal ways. Like it might be good for one season, but then you can pair it and make it look right for a different season. And I'm actually gonna show you some of that too with brighter colors, like colors that you would think were for spring, you can actually tie into the fall and just make good fall outfits or Western outfits with them as well. So using anything and everything you want to use. There are no rules, and you can, I wonder if I'm going to talk this much on every single outfit. Is that normal? I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, but I'm just so excited about putting the clothes together. I'm so excited about actually doing an outfit video. I feel like we've just been, I don't know, a lot has went on between the last time I tried to do a video in my store and then now. And so I just feel like I'm finally getting to do something I want to do, which I love having fun with clothes. I'll be honest with you. I love to have fun with clothes. I think one of my favorite things is just to pick out clothes and put them together. And I think a lot of times when you get, because I'm 46, I think a lot of times when you get my age, which I feel like I'm young, you know, you're only as old as you want to be, but when you get to a certain age, it's like people don't understand it. So where I live in a small town in Tennessee, and people don't understand this. They I don't know, they put on their active wear and that's what they do, and they look at me and they're like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just having fun over here, and I don't know why no one else wants to have any fun. It doesn't make sense to me, but maybe I see that it's very different in other places, and maybe other people do experience that sometimes in their towns where they're just like, they feel like they're the only one and no one else is like them. So I feel like that. I feel like I'm the only one here in my town. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm the only one who does this. But I'm going to continue to do it because it's fun and I enjoy it, and I wanted to share it with you because maybe you enjoy it too, and maybe it gives you some ideas of things you can look for and how to pair them up and what you can do when you're at your thrift store. So but it is also such a good break. This is such a good break from life. From the world, from everything that's going on. So it just takes your mind off of all that stuff, and it's fun. So let's get on to the next outfit. Okay, on this one, I found this really cute top, and to me, instantly, it kind of had like a desert western vibe to it. But obviously it's too low. Like I'm not comfortable wearing things like really low or open. So always having like a white button-up shirt or a white t-shirt to pair things over works amazing for me. And that's kind of a 90s thing. I feel like I was a 90s child, so a lot of my style, I think, has come from that. That's maybe when I first started shopping on my own, and that's when I noticed the most fashion, I guess, when I was buying my own clothes. And so a lot of things I pull together, I feel like has a little hint of 90s to it. So anyways, that the shirts underneath everything, I feel like was definitely a 90s thing, and maybe carried on over into a little bit of the Y2K. But so anyways, with this one, I just thought this top was so pretty and very different and unusual. So when you're at the thrift stores, just keep a lookout for things that are odd or different, that like just seem to be standing out and doesn't, you know, no one else has that. That's something that will be a unique item for you to have, that you're probably the only one that has that in your closet. So anyways, this top, and then paired over the long sleeve, just a regular long sleeve white button-up shirt. And then I happened to find this, to me it looks like rocks. It's a bead necklace, but it's kind of like a rock look. Which I always feel like when you go to festivals in the fall, that a lot of the jewelry is made from rocks, and you either see like the turquoise or you see like arrowhead type stuff, and it's a lot of, something is in my sleeve and itching, but you always see like a lot of different rock jewelry. So I also carried over, so these I bought, the little beachy earrings I bought in the summertime, and they were with beach jewelry, but once again they were rocks and beaded, and I see that at the fall festivals. And so I'm thinking, well, that is actually a winter item as well and could be used in Western. So carrying things over, just different pieces that you know, can kind of transition from one season to another. And then the purse, I've been very fortunate to be gifted. I'm realizing that as I'm doing this video that I've been gifted quite a few handbags. And this one came from my sister-in-law. It was just a little store at our mall, but it's the real leather, and I actually haven't even worn it yet because it's one of those ones that says if you wear it, the color could fade onto something you wear it with and don't get it wet. So I'm trying to figure out the best time to wear it. I just need to do it actually, but it is really cute, and it kind of does have that deserty western vibe with the fringe and the leather, and then just a little different type of boot, like an ankle boot. With this one, and just kind of tying the whole look together with the different pieces. I feel like it works really well for a Western look as well. And there's just there's so many different Western looks, because you can do a Spanish Western look, you can do an American Western look, you can do a desert Western look, you can do an equestrian look, which we're going to do. So I mean, there's just so many or just like a ranch style, like you're just on a horse ranch, you know, working. So there's so many ways you can tie in Western, and I think that always stands out to me, and I always pick up pieces that just kind of flow with all of those ideas. And I don't even know why. I didn't realize that when I was pulling outfits out to look for stuff for this video, I was like, man, I was thinking fall video, but then I realized how many things actually go to a Western vibe. So I'm thinking there's a pattern here. Apparently I like Western. So anyways, we'll go to the next. Okay, this is the first time I've tried this one on, and it is super cute. I don't know where I would wear it to as far as just wearing it in my hometown, if I would feel comfortable. But it reminds me, just because of it being short, like hole up here and then short here with the boots, it reminds me of like a 70s style. Like it would have been something, because they kind of wore the little bit shorter things. I feel like, I don't know, I'm feeling like 70s Western is what I'm thinking. And then pairing the little almost looks like a little, to me this would be a 70s beaded with the flowers in it, and still keeping the rock jewelry, and then the shorts, and then there being a gap, and then the boots. I feel like it's very 70s. And then this little bag, which is also a fry bag, was also gifted to me as well. So I'm so fortunate for these handbags, and I love this one. Like I carry this one all the time because of the color. I just really like the color. Even if it wasn't a fry bag, I would still carry it if it was just this color. So anyways, it just is cool that it is. But anyways, this one, I like this one. I think this one is super cute. I don't know how convenient it would be just wearing as far as just around town doing my normal things, but maybe if I was going somewhere like a rodeo or something, you know, it might be good for that. But it's cute for this video. So anyways, very cool piece. And I just happened to see it, and normally I don't think I would have picked up, I don't normally pick up jumpers. I don't normally pick up like whole piece sets. This one just screamed Western to me when I saw it hanging there, and I think I was in Western mode when I was looking, and I'm glad I did pick it up. It's really, really cute, and yeah, super cute outfit. So okay, on this one, going with another equestrian kind of ranch styled look. I've taken just what would normally be a basic fall coat and a basic blouse that you would probably normally pair with a pair of dress pants or a blazer, and I have thrown them together in this brown belt over the skirt. Accessories are always like the main thing. I feel like once you add the shoes and the jewelry and the belt and the purse and all that to it, is really, to me, what completes the outfit. Because if you just did, say, the skirt and the shirt without the belt and without anything else, it would just be, you know, it's okay. It's a normal outfit. But it's when you start adding the other pieces to it that pulls a certain look together. And those pieces that you add, you know, there's a way to add them to make a certain look or achieve a look that you're going for. So So I've used the yellowy bag again, which is a good pop of color with this outfit because everything is pretty matchy as far as you know, fall colors and the tones and stuff. But then when you add that pop of color, that just stands out. I love to mix match things. I love that, you know, having a pop of color or a mix match print. It just gives it more detail. And then I used this type of boot this time, which is not necessarily considered, it's not a cowboy boot, but it does remind me of a riding boot. So that they would wear if they were riding horses or on a ranch or something. So so yeah, so all these pieces together to me feel, and then just a little bit of dressiness with the earrings. So and so this to me is very equestrian like, and maybe how I would feel if I was kind of dressy on a ranch. So and absolutely loving these looks for the fall, because Western to me is a lot of fall looks as well. So I feel like it's, you know, they kind of go hand in hand. But okay, on to the next one. Okay, with this one, this would be more of an equestrian look. So I've taken what would be just a random kind of, what do you call this, satin green skirt that you would probably put with like a dressy outfit or something. I've actually taken that and paired it with the boot. If you see them still, the boots. And I only got one pair of actually Western boots. I have a couple of others that are similar, but they're not quite a cowboy boot. So these are what I'm wearing for most of the videos. And then took the big wide belt again. And actually the skirt's a little big, so I'm trying to cinch in the skirt with this belt too. But this looks to me, it has like a Western or equestrian because of the braided and the studs on it. It has that look. And then taking a horse, literally a horse shirt, the shirt with horses all over it, and this really big leather bag, and just pairing all that together, which actually kind of gives me, if you've seen any of Ralph Lauren's videos where they're like riding horses and they're walking through the pastures and they're, you know, everything's very equestrian, but still kind of dressy. And that is, to me, what this looks like. This is my version of that anyway. So, so yeah, I saw a couple of their videos. I didn't even know they did videos. I don't know. I know they did clothes. You know, Ralph Lauren has a, you know, it's a brand, but I didn't know they did actual, like, it looks like little videos to their brand. And I thought that was really cool. And I happened to see those, and that's what this outfit reminded me of. And also the jewelry, this necklace, which you really wouldn't normally probably think Western, but I feel like it ties it in together. But a lot of the jewelry I'm getting from Cato, which I thrift some of it. But my earrings, I don't usually thrift my earrings. Cato's earrings are nickel free, and I'm not getting paid or anything to advertise for them. I just like them. And nobody ever thinks about Cato. I don't know why. I feel like it's one of the most unrecognized brands, but it has, Cato has a lot of items that are similar to, in my opinion, Dillard's, but way cheaper. So at Dillard's, something would be like $200. It's like $30 at Cato, but it's got a lot of times the same styles and the same prints. But I have just found that their jewelry, that's just a side note, I know this is really about thrifted clothes, but their jewelry is nickel free, and I get some of the most compliments on my jewelry, and some of the I never have issues with, you know, sensitivity or anything like that, and just some of the best pieces that I get from the Cato. So anyways, okay. This one's over the top. Okay, this one's a little crazy, but that crazy is fun when it's good crazy. And I found this shirt, and it was just hanging there all by itself, and nobody wanted it at the thrift store. And I was like, what can I do with that? So, perfect. I'm thinking trick riders. The girls at the rodeo that do the trick riding would wear one of these fringed costume type outfits. And so, that's what this reminds me of. So still in the Western theme, but maybe not wearable every day. You could wear it every day if you wanted to. You could wear it to a rodeo, definitely. But anyways, or a festival. But I thought it was really cute, and I had to show it because it needed somebody to buy it and to wear it. And then I paired it with these the long gold chain earrings to match the fringe. And then a very blingy Western belt that I also found per, I'm telling you, just when you're in the thrift store, and especially like the little hole in the wall thrift stores, like the little bitty like mom and pop stores and things that you wouldn't think of, sometimes have some of the coolest pieces for hardly nothing. I think I paid like $2 for this belt. And so and it's so cool. It has like the little, there's, wherever they're at, there's, where are they, there's horseshoes on them, like rhinestone horseshoes. And then also just tucking the pants legs in again to show the boot. And then also the back of these, so these are, you can see the pocket detail, these are vintage Wranglers, which I thought were really cool. Actually the first pair I've ever found like that, and I'm really excited about them for just other outfits as well. But anyways, thought this one would be kind of fun and kind of more out of the box. And anyway, so that is that one. And I just feel like I'd really need to go to a rodeo now. But okay, with this outfit, I love this one. This one's so cool. And I love it for so many reasons. Okay, the first being, okay, this was a dress, and it came with this belt. And I simply took the belt and tied it onto the bag to add a detail down here to pull in the two colors from the top to the bag. And then taking this and unbuttoning it and putting it over the outfit and almost giving it kind of a trench coat look instead of a dress. And then taking, I still have the vintage Wrangler jeans on, and I have the little ankle boots on, and then bringing in the beach jewelry that I had from the summertime, but tied it in with the colors for a Western, kind of added rocks into the Western outfit. I think there's something such as a coastal cowgirl too, I think, so you could play off that. And then this blouse, which, don't get offended with me, but I call it a granny blouse. So granny blouses, I can say that because I have grandchildren. So, but I'm Lola, not grandma, because I felt I didn't want to be that old. So anyways, but I can say granny blouse now because technically I am one. So the granny blouses, sometimes they just kind of look when you see them. But if you can get past just the looking at them in a basic way and mix match them with other things, they turn out, they're really good pieces to have for layering. This one, on the rack, it was just kind of, you know, so-so. But when I tucked it in and paired it with all these colors, it actually pulls the outfit together. And then the pattern in it has that kind of Western, deserty look to it. So I just feel like that ties in really well all together. And I absolutely love the idea of wearing dresses as layers. So I love this one, and it's perfect for the fall. It's actually thicker, and even with the little brown buttons running down it. So I just think this look is really, really cool, and very, to me, this is very comfortable. I could wear this around town and I wouldn't feel at all weird in it or anything. So I just feel like it's a very easy look and very comfortable to wear around, and also to be warm, because fall, you know, it's kind of getting chilly around here. So I love this one. I think this one's very cool. Okay, for this look, I kept the vintage Wranglers. I went with a vintage leather belt, a vintage 70s plaid button-up shirt, which is like a green and red, which reminds me of Christmas. So always when I see these plaids like this, I always think of Christmas. So to me, oh, and keeping the saddle bag, and then the little ankle boots, and then I dressed it up with some jewelry. So taking a very casual shirt and pant and dressing it up with the fancy jewelry and the fancy earrings. And then this is just an interchangeable, someone gave me this as well. I have family members that give me things, but this one you can change the stones out in it. So I put the red stone in for this look, which I think it kind of, what do you call those? Is it called a, it's not a bolero. That's a shrug. Those necklaces that you see a lot in Western, and they hang right here, but I can't remember what they're called, but anyways, that's what that reminds me of. And to me, this is like Christmas on the ranch. Like if I was hanging out by the fireplace and drinking some hot chocolate and just kind of cozy, but like maybe some Christmas candles lit. That's what I think of with this top. So I'm already getting Christmas vibes, but I'm supposed to be on fall vibes right now. So that's what this reminds me of. And so it's just a good example of, you know, not only dressing up a casual shirt, but also tying in something and making it Western when maybe really it wouldn't normally be. Okay, on this one, this is an actual Ralph Lauren jacket, and I have a vintage, and don't be afraid to mix, and that was what I was saying at the beginning of the video. It doesn't have to be just vintage, and it doesn't have to be just new. You can mix them, so mixing the old with the new. This is a newer Ralph Lauren jacket that I thrifted, and this is a vintage Worthington top. And so just pairing them together, it still gives that kind of unique and kind of vintagey look, but even though some of the pieces aren't vintage. So and then I just layered this one up with a lot of jewelry to kind of fill in the space here, since I was wearing just a plain white shirt. And I found a quilted belt, which I thought matched this because the jacket is quilted, and it just kind of gives, to me, still that kind of riding stable, kind of equestrian look, much more casual look, but still, to me, that ranchy vibe, which I feel like falls under Western. All right, on this one, I took that same tan, just casual jacket, and I paired it with denim. Denim is, to me, always something that you see in a lot of Western looks. So the denim shirt, I love this one too. I think this is a vintage Liz Claiborne, but it's a half button with the snaps, and so I just think that's really cool. I haven't seen very many like that. And this skirt comes with a set, which I'll show you an outfit with the shirt in a minute, but sometimes breaking up a set just makes it look better. It takes away from that kind of what I call the granny look, where it's the whole set together. If you break it up and mix match it, the pieces generally tend to look better. So taking one of those sets and just taking the pleated skirt from it and pairing it with the denim, and then putting the boots and the cowboy boots, and then the brown leather bag with it, and also layering with the jewelry and the jacket, is pulling it all together for that Western look, versus if you just had the pleated skirt, it just wouldn't be given a Western vibe at all there, you know. So, but if you pair them all together, it makes kind of that look come alive. So I really do like to take sets, and usually the colors sets are usually really pretty, but I think most people look at them and they're thrown off about the two pieces being together. But when you split them up, you can do some really cool things with them. So this is, I don't even know what number we're on. I lost count. And in real time, it's getting darker outside. Like, it's taken a long time to try on all these outfits. But in camera time, it's not that long. But anyways, I like this one. And then let's do the next one with the shirt to the skirt and see how we can match it up. Okay. This is the top that went with the skirt I just showed you, and they have the patterns, to me, kind of almost like the pattern that would be a little bit in a bandana. So it has a pattern that would kind of go with a Western element to them, but broken up, to me, they're just so much better. Like this shirt, and even taking the denim on top of it, which the denim to me always screams Western, and then rolling the sleeves a little so that you can see the sleeve popping out with the little buttons. And this one, it has a lot of your vintage items, I like them not only because they're cool and they're different, but the buttons, if you ever pay attention to the buttons, they're just different versus the stuff that's on the
The buttons that are on modern clothes just are boring, honestly. That's just basically it. They're boring. And a lot of your vintage items will have like neat details to them, whether it's a button or something on it that just stands out. So I do really tend to gravitate more towards the vintage items, but like this jacket's not vintage and I'm pairing it with the vintage top. And these jeans are Lucky brand. They're not vintage, but they have kind of a Western look to them. So you can tie them all in together. It doesn't really matter, but I do tend to lean towards vintage items just because they're cooler. And this is that type of necklace I was talking about. You know, like the cowboys wear, and it has that piece in the middle, and you can slide it up and down. I can't remember what that's called, and it's usually like a cord type necklace that the men wear. It's usually like a black or a brown leather cord, but this one's kind of a good imitation of that. And then taking the rhinestone belt and just the kind of offset with it like a different color helps too, and just pulling all of those things in together to do a great little Western look. And it doesn't really matter what you do. You can mix anything together as long as you're having fun. I always call it fun with clothes, and it's just a lot of, I've had so much fun today just making this video, just putting, it's taken a long time, but putting things together, because really, if you thrift all the time, you're anything like me and you pick up these outfits all the time, you're like, where am I going to wear them to? Because I have so many, right? And I do sell some of them on eBay and Poshmark when, you know, I wear them and then I sell them because I can't keep them all. I have limited amount of space. And so anyways, I love thrifting and I love piecing things together. So this is one way to feel like I wore them and share them with someone else. All right, on this outfit, this is an example of what I meant by tying in something that would normally be for spring or for summertime with the bright colors and the hot colors, but you can tie it into the fall or winter when you style it with other pieces to make it more of a fall look or a Western look. You don't notice those bright colors standing alone by themselves as much. So this one I have paired with a leather, kind of a suede leather jacket, and also with that purse that had the fringe on it that was leather, and then the studded belt, the jeweled belt with the this one is to me a very Western necklace. You always see the turquoise and the leather and stuff in Western, and so just to me the bright colors just kind of accents it a little more and gives it that pop, gives it something different, but yet when you add all these other accessories and pieces to it, still keeps it within that fall and Western style. So I'm actually really pleased with how this one looks, and just trying to think out of the box, like what can you do to pull some of your pieces you already have. Like sometimes you don't even have to go buy, like I love to thrift and I'm just gonna go do that no matter what, but I wouldn't really have to, because I could take some of my summer things and put them over into a fall wardrobe look and come out with stuff like this and still use, reuse those items. So I think this is a good example of that. And also just the coloring to me is very fun. Normally I wouldn't have picked up this top. This is another kind of, I feel like it's another kind of granny top, like it would be somewhere like Belk in the women's section or something. I can't remember what the brand is, but it's very basic. It's just by itself, it just looks like but when you pair it together with all of these things, it looks really cool. So so just some ideas and a way to mix match things to bring them to life a little more. Okay, this one I like. This is a little bit change up on the colors. I've been doing a lot of browns, but with this one I had this, what you would think would just be a blazer. But still, I think when I look at things at the thrift store, when I'm looking at them, I automatically see something with them. Like I see Western, or I see desert, or I see beach, or I see 90s. It just, there's a thought that comes to my mind with each piece, I guess. And so this one stuck out to me once again is Western, and kind of that equestrian vibe. And so when you put like a boot like this, which looks like a riding boot, with the blazer, and then, well, I styled it up with a pop of color again here. And then I just took a plain basic, this was, neither one of these are vintage, but I took a plain basic blue button-up shirt and tucked it in, because if you'll notice in a lot of ranch style, like if you're watching a movie or a ranch style picture in a catalog or something, a lot of times they're wearing a blue button-up shirt or some type of button-up shirt. So that's kind of where I got that idea from. And then just put that little charm I said we can change out, just put the black in there to match the black belt and the black boots. And yeah, I really like this one. It's not wild and crazy, but it is still a Western look, kind of an equestrian, going to the stable today look, and I really like it. And just another different idea of how to match things up and using different colors, because a lot of times I think when I think of Western, I think of browns a lot of times. And so that last outfit using the pop of color was great. And then with this, the black, I tend to gravitate towards brown. I think I just like brown earth tones better, but this with the black, I actually really like it, and it's a little different than the other things I was doing. So okay, I'm looking at my phone here because this is the first video I've done in a long time, which I mentioned, and things are beeping at me, and so I plugged in one thing and looking at the other one to see what's going on. This though is very basic, very casual, and my thoughts with this one are ranch style, but I'm thinking Amy on Heartland, because you know how she always has just like that basic top, which I continued with that blue button up. I think it's a little big, so I'm actually seeing these outfits for the first time with you. I have not tried them on before the video, so I pulled all the pieces out and I'm just now putting them together. So you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing at the same time. So anyway, so this one, she always comes out with like this cute jacket over a basic top, and she has more of a low-rise jean. So I switched back to these because they're a little bit more low-rise. I think it was very Y2K when they filmed Heartland. And she always has her belt buckle, which I didn't have. I have a belt buckle, but it's pink. The belt is pink, and that didn't go with this, so I'm going to use this one. And then she would always just pull her jeans down over her boots in that show. So this is kind of the idea I had when styling this outfit. And I love jackets, so I always pick up random like different colors and different styles of jackets. I just felt like this one to me reminded me of what Amy would wear on Heartland. So that's the vibe I'm getting, and it's also very comfortable. Okay, with this look, and I'm pulling these up because they're a little baggy and I'm not wearing a belt this time, but I took the vintage shirt, had like the wild print on it, and I kind of thought the shirt had a desert kind of print vibe to it, so I just lopped it off. It was really long, and I lopped it off and just front tucked it, and I might have even had shoulder pads. I've been pulling those out of stuff. I know a lot of people like those. I don't like the way it makes me look up here. It's just too boxy looking for me. So I love vintage, but not so much shoulder pads. And honestly, I'm a 90s child, and I didn't keep shoulder pads in anything in the 90s. We didn't wear shoulder. I mean, maybe they were there, but we didn't wear them. So, so they have to go for me. But so anyways, I kept the shirt in, I thought it would make a cool desert, kind of Western desert vibe to it. And I found this little teal purse, and really pay attention to, like I said, those little thrift shops in little towns that you wouldn't think would have anything. And you can find some really good things for just a couple of bucks. Like most of these little handbags, not the ones that were gifted to me, but the little handbags and some of the jewelry that I've gotten, like $1 or $2 a piece. So really cool pieces that put together an outfit without spending hardly any money, which I love, because even if I had $1 billion, I probably would still go to the thrift store because I want the good deal. So that's just me. But so anyways, yeah, so tying all this together, putting in some leather jewelry, and just some leather pieces. I feel like leather is kind of deserty as well. And I was a little torn on which purse to use because I was thinking the fringe one too. I was like, okay, this kind of has a deserty vibe and looks good with it too. But then this color really went with, to me, the necklace perfectly. They just kind of were a perfect match, and so I ended up going with it. But I like this one as well. I feel like it's comfy, except for me needing a belt, but it's comfy, and it just kind of has that cool desert vibe to it with the layers. And so let's get to another one. Okay, on this one, full on Western top. And instead of tucking it in, I just left this one out. I pretty much tuck everything in because I feel like it gives it a better shape. But with this one, because it is kind of cropped and the way it fits, I feel like it looked good out. And don't be afraid to mix browns and blacks, because my daughter, she's like, I don't like brown and black together. But I've been mixing the brown and black, and I think it actually looks quite cool together. It just gives it pops. It pops of color, and it's not so blendy. So the top being, it is, well, kind of a caramel color, and so to me that's in the brown area, and then the black boots with it. And then I took that same rock necklace I had earlier and wrapped it twice so that it wouldn't take away from this design, but still gives it more color. And then putting the fringed purse with it to just kind of pull in that, I feel like hippie Western vibe is what this one would be. That's kind of the vibe it's given me, and I actually think it's really cute looking with these boots. I don't know, like most of the time I don't wear my jeans tucked into them, but I feel like it just gives it more of a Western look. And I don't really have any skinny jeans anymore, so that it does look a little bunchy, but that's okay. I feel like riding, like the equestrian riding pants always do look a little, I feel like, bunchy right there, so we're gonna go with that. But anyways, you could always wear the pants out over the boots as well if you didn't like that look. But I am liking the brown and black together, and I like this tied up with it. I feel like the colors look really good together. So this one's probably something I will try and wear. Most of them are something I would wear actually, because I just kind of dress a little odder than a lot of people. but this one I really do like. Okay. This one reminds me of Dollywood, which I also feel like has Western vibes, right? There are Western vibes in a lot of Dolly's outfits, and there's always a lot of fringe and bling, and I feel like it is very Western, so that's what this reminds me of. This top, when I first got it, I just thought, you know, springtime is all I was really thinking about it, but the more I looked at it, I thought, I think I can tie that into a Western look. And just putting the Western belt buckle and layering it up, making it blingy, so it's blingy Western, which also gives me Dollywood vibes, or Dolly vibes. And the light yellow purse tying in with the color in the shirt, and the leather jacket. I feel like this does make everything look.
There you go.
That is my husband is giving my dog a bath, if you can hear that. So he's headed into the bathroom to get his bath. We have a Great Dane, and he's big, and so when he moves around, he just bumps everything, and it makes a lot of noise. So I don't know if you could hear the clacking, but I could. So anyways, but yeah, I think this one's cute if you just want to like bling it up and kind of do a little bit of a, you know, Dolly, and I don't know, I feel like Pigeon Forge vibe. I feel like Pigeon Forge is always very kind of Western bling or something. So that's the vibe I'm getting with this one. Okay, this is the other horse shirt, and this one is brown this time with just pictures of horses on it, which I think is really cute. And I did this one in a little bit more modern look for you. So these are some modern ripped jeans, and just paired them over the cowboy boots, the little brown braided belt, and the jacket. And I think the jacket is modern as well. I can't remember what brand this is. I want to think it was like Coldwater Creek or something like that. It is a modern jacket, and I honestly think the top is modern as well. So nothing in this is vintage this time, but I wanted to give you a little bit more of an idea. You could go vintage or modern, whichever way you want to go with the pieces. And then just keeping this one pretty much all the same kind of color palette, keeping the same, the leathers and the browns and everything together, but just kind of throwing in that little bit of a, you know, with the ripped jeans, throwing in that little bit of extra. I feel like the extra, what do you call it? It's like the extra of the look. Just makes it look a little bit more hip. Maybe that's the word. Like it's more happening with these jeans. So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna call this the second to the last one. We have one more to go, and I think that one is really, really cute. And then I will have to call it an end for today because this video has taken me all day long. If you are a YouTuber and you have a suggestion on how you do that, let me know, because starting and stopping between each outfit, trying on each outfit, and then having to stop and start for other things or my family or whatever as well, it just seems like it has taken all day long to do this one video, which is fine and it's fun, and I love putting the outfits together and making it, but I'm just curious if there is like a better way to do it. So okay, last one. I saved this one for last because I thought it was one of the coolest ones. So this once again reminds me of Ralph Lauren. I'm sorry if you don't like Ralph Lauren because I know I've mentioned them a lot, but the one thing that I do like about Ralph Lauren is that they kind of, he's like a major designer. He's been around for like as long as I can remember. But a lot of his outfits and things that he puts together have like this homey, like sweet feel to them. They seem very realistic to me. They seem very like cozy and like if you were just on an actual ranch with your family or something. It's not like so many other designers, everything is so unrealistic, like you wouldn't wear it in real life. But his are very realistic and very natural, and he always pulls a lot of those leathers and just the equestrian and just the ranch style things into all of his designs. And so I just think that that's really neat. That's what I like about him. And so anyways, this once again paired this beige jacket with it. I had a vintage vest that I also put with this one, and I found this brown turtleneck that just had this really cool button detail running up it, and I don't think I've ever seen a turtleneck with this on it. Usually, you know, they're just plain, so I thought that was cool. And then the skirt has the horse, and it actually has the horse and the riders on them, if you can see them. And then I put the what looks like the riding boot back with this one, and then the brown leather bag, and paired it up with a very simple, just little, I feel like feminine rose chain to give it kind of that sweet, cozy vibe. So yep, I think this is, I like this one. This one's a winner. And I think this is going to end the video because I promised my daughter I would go for a walk. And it is now dark outside and cold. So we're going to figure that one out. And hopefully this gave you some neat ideas about how to pull Western looks together and what you can find at the thrift store, and also just having fun with your clothes. Like, what is in your closet? What can you mix match? What can you pair it together that you normally wouldn't pair together? So hopefully this kind of gave you some ideas on how to do that. And it was a lot of fun for me because, like I said, I don't get to wear, you know, like there's so many outfits, there's only so many outfits you can wear in a day, right? And so I had all of these and I wanted to wear them and show them. And so I actually had fun trying them on and putting them together and showing them to you. So let me know which one's your favorite, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. And I'm not sure what the next one's going to be, but I'm thinking maybe fall, because we're in November and this is my first video, and I started with Western, but I still have so many items that I could use for fall as well without it necessarily being Western. So I think that's what we're going to do next. So I will see you on that video. Thank you for watching.